Good morning. Welcome to this week's edition of Monday Messages. So, have you ever woken up and you woke up in a funk and you just don't know why? You have that funk, but it's there and it kind of hangs over you like a black cloud, and you just kind of deal with it. That's how I woke up this morning. I was like, I feel funky. I don't feel like doing anything. I just want to lay in bed and do nothing, which would only make me feel funkier, is what I discovered. So as I started on with my day, I finally just sort of said, okay, get out of bed. Step one, take a shower. So I went and took a shower. Step two, make the bed. And I made the bed and I started feeling the funk started to lift a little bit. Step three, put on something nice today. Be nice to yourself. Do something good for yourself. Change that message going on in your mind that you're a worthless, piece of shit today. Change that worthless message that talking to you. Yeah, you'll never do anything. What do you think you are? Who do you think you are? You suck. Thanks for sharing. Goodbye. Not true. So I put on my dress. I haven't worn this one in a while. I said, you know what? I like this dress. It makes me feel happy. It makes me feel pretty. So I'm going to put on my happy dress today. That makes me feel good about myself, even though I have nowhere to go. No one to see. When I used to go to my women's recovery group on a daily basis, we would always, show up get dressed up, put on makeup, and want to have like cute outfits on so we could at least look, nice and kind of show off to our friends. And it was always, nice when people say, "Oh, you look great today." Oh, really? Oh, I just threw this together. Meanwhile, you're like looking through your closet trying to find the perfect thing that's going to get you a compliment. So anyways, but I'm dressing up for me today because it makes me feel good. It makes me feel happy. Because it's so easy to kind of beat yourself up during these times. At least it is for me. And I know it is definitely for the addict and the alcoholic. It's so easy to beat yourself up at this time and just not believe yourself to be good enough. Or, Stuart Smalley, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me. But we really, we suffer from the false lens of low self-esteem as people in recovery and addiction. And when we drink or use whatever it is, kind of lifts us up out of that message of, you're worthless. Suddenly you don't feel worthless. Suddenly you feel like the most popular, beautiful person in the room because of the alcohol. And when you take the alcohol away, then you're stuck with that worthless person that you felt you were so long. I know one time when we were back in Florida in my drinking days, I had my little squad, and my squad leader, me and Charlotte, were quite the pair going around. We were well known at the ale house, let's put it that way. And then we also went to one night we went to American Gladiators. Now Charlotte, my friend, she's beautiful. She could be like a model on like a cover magazine, and she knows it, and she knew how to like work the men. And I kind of just like sat by. I was the funny friend who would always be by her side, providing the comic relief. So I kind of just accepted that, I'm the funny friend, and Charlotte gets all the, she's, gets all the hot guys. And I was like, that's okay. I'm fine with that. Because I enjoyed hanging out with Charlotte, and we had fun together. We did have a lot of fun together. So we decided to go to American Gladiators one night. And this is like a dinner show in Florida at the time, and they had all the American Gladiators on, and I think Charlotte, she might have been dating one of them at the time, or she knew some of them, so there was some connection there. And then we ended up getting in for free, and of course, when you go to these things, when the beauty is you get all you can drink alcohol. So, that I bring the pitcher over, pour, just keep drinking, drinking, drinking. So I wasn't really paying much attention to the show because I could really care less about the American Gladiators. I was more interested in the free beverages I was getting and making sure I took full advantage of that. And then they had all the gladiators like come around and start waving at people and going up and shaking hands. And we had a pretty good spot. And so I'm sitting there and there's suddenly, one of them runs up to me. I think it was like Thunderbolt or something, some weird name like that. And so all of a sudden Thunderbolt runs up to me and I'm like, yeah. Hi, Thunderbolt. I got a drink. And then Thunderbolt looks at me and he goes, oh my God. And suddenly in my mind, it clicks. Wait a second. Thunderbolt thinks I'm hot. And so what do I do? What do I do? Instead of just saying, oh, thanks, Thunderbolt, let's talk later after the show. This is how I handled it. I look at him, I go, I start screaming. Thunderbolt like books it, hightails it away from me. I remember Charlotte looking at me saying, I really have to teach you how to take a compliment, Kelly. But that's how desperate I think I was back then to just feel like, oh my gosh, somebody actually thinks I'm worth something. Isn't that a crazy feeling? And the truth of the matter is, I've always been worth something. You've always been worth something. We're all worth something today, but we just don't know it sometimes. And when it gets revealed to us, sometimes we just get so excited. We just scream. We don't know what to do with it. And so, the beauty of recovery is that slowly you start to lose that low self-image and you start to gain self-worth and self-esteem. And you learn to, dress up. They say, the 12 steps are a program of attraction. My sponsor reminds me. And so we get dressed up. I want to represent what recovery looks like. I want to be a good representative today of, just what recovery can look like for me today. And how good a life I can have with recovery. And when I don't dress up and when I decide to sit in bed and be lazy, that's what I get. One time I went to Trader Joe's and I just didn't put on any makeup, nothing. My hair was, I just like literally popped out of bed on a Sunday morning, put on whatever clothing I could find and just walked out the door, no makeup, nothing. And the opposite happened this time. I ran into my friend Andy and she had her little girl, Merity at the time. And Merity is this beautiful little girl. And I remember when Andy was like pregnant with her and I was like, oh, hi, Andy. And we talked and I looked at Merity and I said, hi, Merity. And she looked at me, she goes, why are you so old? And I didn't miss a beat. I said, Merity, I ask myself that question every day. But kids are honest. You're honest. And then I thought it was like kind of a little shocker at the time. And poor Andy didn't know. She's like, she doesn't know what she did. I could tell Andy was in a bad situation. And I was like, it's okay. Because I realized, I was like, you know what? You didn't make any effort to look halfway presentable. And yeah, you look horrendous today. And so you look horrendous. Kids are going to call you out on it because kids are the most honest thing in the world. I mean, they say, if you ever want to know if you have bad breath, ask a kid, they'll tell you. I have no problem, as I have found out in many of my years at Nickelodeon, they have no problem telling the truth. So anyway, the truth of the matter is today, just your message of hope for this week is, put the hammer down. Hammer down. No need for the hammer. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. And you deserve to feel beautiful. So do something good for yourself today. Somebody mentioned the other day, take a bubble bath. I took a bubble bath the other day because somebody mentioned it's like treat yourself nice, treat yourself good. Do something good for yourself. Put on a dress that makes you feel happy. Put on your favorite earrings. Play your favorite song and dance to it. Do esteemable acts. You want self-esteem, do esteemable acts. I want a medal every time I return the grocery cart to the thing, but it's the right thing to do. I do it because it's the right thing to do and it feels good. So whatever is healthy for you and brings you closer to God in your recovery is the right thing. That's the healthy thing. That's the happy thing. And that's where you really get your inner beauty. And that's going to shine through to everybody. And you are God's masterpiece today. Don't forget that. Okay, so if you're enjoying these, subscribe. I'll see you next week. Who knows what we'll be talking about next week. But I hope you enjoyed this week, and I look forward to hearing what you have to say. All right. Bye.